Finally, the weather. Strong to gale-force winds are forecast for the northwest of the country. They are expected to last for most of the day and will be strong to gusty at times.
Well, it's all very fine going on one of these safari weekends, but I don't see why they've got to start so early in the morning. This kind of thing may be fine around Hawaii, but carry on like this in the month of May at Rosmowla in County Donegal is a bit on the shivery side. However, maybe the wetsuits will help. If you're thinking of taking up surfing, the fiberglass board will cost about £30, and you'd want to allow another £25 for the wetsuit, which is nearly a must at this time of year.
Well, surfing itself, Mike, goes back a very long time. As a matter of fact, it goes back to Captain Cook's time in the Pacific. But as regards Ireland, it was introduced into Ireland about 1965. And the person the first known person here to have surfed was Kevin Cavey from Bray.
Surfing got its name through surfers who rode very big waves in the Pacific Ocean, Hawaii and other countries. But when it came to Europe, and in fact even along California and in parts of Australia, they do what is called hot dogging, and that's what we do in Ireland. Waves up to the height of approximately 10 feet are hot dogging waves. From there on up it's big wave riding, and few of us challenge anything bigger than 10 feet.
In a team game, you're competing as part of a team with 14 other individuals. In surfing, it's completely up to yourselves. The waves have been there since time began, in fact, and the power to harness the waves is left entirely to you. What you do to each particular wave is an individual decision. The result can be satisfactory or it can be devastating.
You take off in a big wave. You're trying to overcome this wave, and all the maneuvers you are doing are it's you in combat with the wave. Eventually the wave will win out when your ride ends, because you'll either fall off it, have a wipeout, or you'll just reach the beach and that's the end of the wave. But there are so many more waves coming in, you just have to go out and try them all again.
There were 15 newcomers to the sport, all of them girls, having their first surfing lessons here at Rosnowla. Brian Britton was the instructor.
I explained to them the basics of surfing, what surfing means, safety rules about surfing, and what I was going to do with them over this weekend during the 4 1.5-hour periods I would spend with them. For the actual surfing lesson, I put one person on the board, and as a suitable wave came, I just give them push off on the board.
Is there any danger from flying surfboards?
Well, in surfing you must tell surfers there are certain basic safety rules. Flying surfboards normally happens when one falls off your board and you've lost complete control. What you do in this case, for the actual person who's riding the board, as soon as they enter the water, they roll up into a ball and cover their head, and normally count 5 before they come up. For people who are in the water, you will never have a surfer in on his own. He will always have somebody else with him. And as soon as he sees his comrade falling off the board, he will warn any other swimmers or surfers who are in the water and try and retrieve the board if the other surfer sort of loses it outside.
Did you ever get hurt surfing?
Well, I did when I started. I had a rather heavy board, and I fell off one day and went up into the air, and it landed on my head, and I was pretty knocked out after that for a couple of days.
Well, now the European Championships are going to be held in Ireland in September. This is a big feather in our cap, isn't it?
It's a terrific feather in our cap, actually, because, first of all, we're a very young surfing nation. Secondly, I think it's true to say that Great Britain would have expected to have them this year in the normal course of events. But I think mainly because of our participation and our support of the European Championships over the past number of years, we've got the honour this year, and we're hoping to have a tremendous do in Lahinch on the 16th and 17th of September of this year.
Well, how does one win a surfing contest?
Well,
does one stay up longest or furthest or what on the board?
There are a number of points that are taken and given to somebody who's in a contest. First of all, 5 people usually are in a heat. They enter the waters and they're wearing different colours. The judges watch them and watch which waves they ride and how they ride them. They're given points for their wave judgment, for their way and ability to catch the wave, the way they ride it into shore, and what turns and manoeuvres they make on the way that impress the judges. We have obtained good results in previous European contests. Last year we had Niall O'Brien-Moore getting into the finals of the junior event in France. And on other years we've managed to get our team men up to the position where we've beaten Guernsey and Wales. We also have got ourselves into 9th out of 50 entrants, and we thought this was fairly good for a new surfing country.
Brian Britton of Rosnowla is your man to contact if you'd like to take up this exciting sport.
Well, unfortunately, being on the north side of the city, I was only concerned with the north side, but I hope that the North City Board and the South City Board would get together and talk this out and bring a team representing Dublin. I would like to see South City brought into this as much as the North City. I mean, juveniles in Dublin need something, encouragement to play Gaelic games.
And of all the juveniles you have in the North City League, how did you select the party of 22?
Well, about 8 weeks ago we started trial matches, and each club were told to send 3 boys along for the trial games, and each boy got 3 games each, so that after the 3rd game we knew then the players we should pick, and from that we have our 22 players.
And have any of these boys been over in London before?
No, none of them have ever been in Wembley or in London before.
Do you make that a point of it, that you don't bring a boy a second time?
Oh, we make that clear, quite clear to them, that it's no good. Every boy must get a chance from the North City, because it is the ones that don't win competitions that I would prefer than the boy that's winning all the time. The boys that's picked sometimes don't win a medal or anything else. They just play for the love of the game, and I would like to reward them for that purpose.
Well, the match at Wembley will be the high point of the weekend, but it's not the only thing that's going on. You go over on Thursday night.
Thursday evening, and we get into Liverpool and then from there to London by coach, and they're putting on a reception for us on Friday evening. Then we go on to Wembley at 12 o'clock on Saturday, and then on to New Eltham on Sunday for another game.
And you'll be back Sunday night?
We leave London then for Dublin again.
Well, how are the boys who've been picked reacting to the thought of going to London?
Oh, they're in great form about this, and in particular for playing in Wembley. I think Wembley seems to be in a boy's mind all the time. It's one of the greatest, like a holy land to some of them, because some